So one of my favorite ways of spending more time on the treadmill is to have a conversation with someone on the treadmill next to you, right? It's better than listening to music. And I am blessed at my gym to have so many of my gym buddies there to have conversations and, just to catch up on how things are. Yesterday, I was talking to this guy who was asking me, in general, things about life and other things. He knows what I do for a living. I'm a motivational speaker and I work with companies and I'm a coach on change and leadership and all that. So after this, he was asking me questions about my life story. And at some point, he wanted to figure out how old I was now and how old I was when I started this journey of being a full-time motivational speaker. So I told him I was 27 when I returned back to India to start my new journey as a motivational speaker. And during the course of the conversation, we realized, I asked him how old he was, and he was exactly the same age, which was 27. So I said, okay, wow, talking to you, I can just visualize, I can rewind 17 years back. And if you do the math, you get my age. But he asked me then, what are the 5 things that you would do differently if you were 27 again? And I was like, wow. So we had this wonderful conversation. I recorded some of the key points to share with all of you as well. I'm not 94, so it's not like an old man's review of his life or the regrets of old people, etc. This is somebody who's hitting mid-40s, reflecting back how he would do things differently if I was 27 again. And I go back to the year 2007 for that. First thing I'll do, 2008 was when the stock market crash happened due to the housing crisis. I would invest more in some quality stocks, right? When these crashes happen, people run away from the market, but that is exactly the time to buy. And that is one of my first points is if I would be 27 again, I would think and invest and build my future for the long term. We are so conditioned to think for the short term. Let me pass this semester exam. Let me pass the midterm. Let me pass the final exam. Let me do this degree. Let me get through this quarter of the business. We are so tuned to thinking short term that we never really develop a long-term vision. I think it's our system hasn't trained us to develop in terms of decades. But when you think in terms of decades, let's say if you're 27 right now and you're watching this video, if you think for the next decade, oh wow, transformational, interesting things happen in a decade. If you plan well, whether it's how you can grow your money 10x, 20x, 30x by putting it in the right place, you can grow your skills phenomenally, you can change your career path like I did and reinvented myself from somewhere where I felt that I had hit the ceiling and I wanted to do something new. I reinvented it. You could do a lot of things. You could build a business. You could, improve your health. A decade is a long time. So this is the first thing is for all young people out there listening is to learn to think and plan for the long term, right? The next one I would do a bit differently is enjoy the journey a bit more. Now, I have thoroughly enjoyed my journey. So this is not a regret. In fact, he asked me, this fellow in the gym the other day, do I have any regrets if I look back at the last 17 years? I said, no, not at all. I don't have any regrets. I'm now at the point of my life where I say, thank you. Thank you. You've given me more than I deserved. I have more than I need. So thank you very much. And I feel blessed and privileged and there are no regrets. These are just opportunities I would have liked to use a bit more. I really enjoyed my journey, the highs and lows. I made the best of everything. I enjoy my cooking over the weekends, my spending time with the family, my travel, my meditation, all of those things, my gymming. But if I would be 27 again, I'll do this a bit more, enjoy the journey more because it's not about destinations, right? Somebody asked me in this United Nations conference where I was in the Q&A session, what destination do you think you will hit when you finally achieve I've made it in life? I said, well, there's not going to be like a single goalpost. If I reach that, it'll be like, oh, I achieved 5 million subscribers on YouTube. And then what? Will the next day, will I stop working? Or I aim for X amount of money in my bank account? And then what? Will the next day, won't I show up for work again? So it's a continuity, my friends. It's the beauty of the journey. If your journey is fun and engaging and creative and you're building something, you're adding value to people's lives, The journey in itself is the milestone, right? The milestones don't matter as much. So learn to enjoy the journey because, and that's my number two, you cannot dictate the timetable of the universe. Things have to happen at the time that they're meant to happen. There's a reason behind it, which we will not understand while we are going through the journey. But as you reflect back, with this hindsight of observation, you will see, I know now why this had to take so long. I know now why these things had to turn out not the way I wanted them to, but in a different way. Because the universe had a different plan, a better plan, a plan that was meant for you, a plan that was meant to train you, to teach you so your skills can develop and your muscles can become stronger, and a plan to test you, to test how committed you are. So this is number two. I wish I would have understood this more clearly, more completely when I was 27, that the universe will not work at my timetable. Things will take time. If I'm growing a tree outside my house, I have to water it and look after it and do other things, but it will grow in its own pace, right? I can't speed those things up. So better I go back to point number one and enjoy my journey more and understand and that things are going to happen at the right time for me. In fact, it's a great affirmation for young people. Take a deep breath every now and then in the morning whenever you're feeling overwhelmed and just say, everything's happening in its own sweet time. Everything is happening wonderfully, beautifully, right? The universe has a perfect sense of timing for me. All my dreams will come true at the right time for me. I trust the universe to make these judgments for me. And when you do that, you suddenly feel that you take a lot of weight off your shoulders. You are happier, more creative, and that's what we need these days. Number three is to understand, and this is tied to number two. Number three is I wish I would have understood this more clearly, that slow success develops character and quick success breeds arrogance. I wish I would have understood this more clearly at 27. And for all of you watching, if you're asking for quick success from the universe, quickly, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have 1 million followers, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I want it now, you won't value it, you won't know how to handle it, you wouldn't know what to do with it if that would be taken away from you. So all these things, that the buffer, the gestation period of your dreams is there for a reason. Understand, slow success will develop your character, your skills, your mindset, and your resilience. Quick success, none of these things will develop. It will only make you arrogant. You know why? Because you will believe you made it happen, right? And that's a fallacy. Alone, you can't do anything. It's so many people, circumstances, forces of the universe that come together to bring your dreams to reality. And if it happens at a more moderate pace, you begin to appreciate all these components and you become humble. And that way you, my friend, can be a lasting, solid success. So I wish I would have understood this more at 27. Quick success will only make me arrogant. Slow success will develop my character, mindset, skills, agility, and resilience. Number four, if I would be 27 again, this is what I would do: spend more time with my loved ones. I'm so grateful to the universe that I was able to do this with all my family members, whether it was raising my two beautiful daughters, spending time with my wife, or spending time with my parents, and my loved ones, my sister, my extended family, everyone, my friends, people that I mentor, my followers, and all of them. I've been able to blessed to live life at a moderate pace, to appreciate the flowers on the pathway. But if I would rewind it back to 2007, I would make this one of the top priorities, because that time is never going to come back. I lost both my parents over the course of the last 15, 20 years, and I do cherish every moment that I spent with them and the values they inculcated in me. But I'm also aware of the fact that the time spent with them is never going to come back, right? So make the best of the opportunities that you have. And it doesn't have to be 5-star holidays or luxury vacations. You can just cook a meal together and sit and have fun, right? And that's what matters. So spending more quality time with your loved ones. And number 5, in concluding this video, the 5th thing I wish I would have understood more clearly when I was 27 is to understand that the lows in your life are there so you can appreciate the highs. So you will go through lows, and then you'll go to your highs, and this graph can go up and down unpredictably at any time. But understand this, that the color white will lose its significance if there was no color black. And the highs of your life, you will not appreciate them if you haven't seen the lows. So if you're going through the low phase at the moment, don't blame the universe, don't curse your life. Understand that you're going through a process of maturing, a process of becoming more grounded, more humble, a process of developing a perspective that will help you appreciate the beauty of life in a more fuller, complete way as things change. So people have always only seen the highs and never experienced the low. If they hit a low, God forbid, very often we do, all of us have to go through these cycles, they don't know how to process it. They don't know how to handle it. Some of them are never able to recover from these shocks. So if you're going through a low phase, that is like a training phase. Go through it with a smile, go through it with a positive attitude, because that, my friends, will build the foundation. It'll stay with you for the rest of your life when you hit the highs of your life. So these were my top 5. I hope some of these inputs have been useful. Let me know which one made the most sense to you, which one appealed the most to you in the comment section. Thanks again for tuning in.